Good morning and welcome back to the John Muir Way for what is going to be our 8th stage now, and you'll have just seen the view from Cramond Brig, bridge that was replaced morning in the mid 1800s and subsequently replaced in the 1960s by the modern A90 bridge. But today it is very misty, very grey, a little bit drizzly and cold, so perfect day for walking. We're heading into the centre of Edinburgh today. The plan is maybe to get to the Commonwealth Pool, and I've no idea what sort of distance that is, probably somewhere in the region of 12-13 miles. The beauty of going into Edinburgh is we can stop whenever we want and get back to where we need to be by bus. There's no fixed plan for the day, but we should be able to get into the city centre. Route's just been up a very quiet residential street, and it's remarkably peaceful just now. Looks like we're heading out onto the back end of the golf course here, but it's going to be a bit of a feature of the day that we'll be sort of skirting in and out of residential streets. This everlasting grey this morning, and sort of, it's not so much drizzle as just, I think we're walking in the cloud, so we're just going to get damp, but very pleasant, very peaceful so far. Really quiet road this, not much traffic at all, but the properties along here are just incredible. Have a look at that. Stood in the middle of the road while there's a car coming. We're just approaching Davidson Mains, which is quite a busy little spot, and then we cut through I think the park or the golf course there, and start to climb up towards Clermiston and Carstorphine Hill, and there's an old tower on top of Carstorphine Hill. Hopefully we'll get a bit more information about that as well. Kids football about to start, and we're heading off in that direction, and somewhere in the mist is Carstorphine Hill. So I've just crossed the Queensferry Road, and I bet it's a bit of an odd sight up through this housing estate, seeing hikers and backpackers. I guess I think the route's 10 years old now, so they must have got used to it by now. Finally coming out of this housing estate, and this is Clermiston, and actually this is a an excellent bailout point. Big building over there is a hotel, it's Leonardo I think. Just down there it's a terminus. So from there you can get buses into the city, service 1 and 26, and if you're absolutely knackered, the 26 can take you all the way to Port Seaton as an option. It takes a couple of hours like, but and there are plenty of places in the city just to, if you're feeling knackered, to knock it on the head for the day. But we're heading up into the trees there eventually. We've got a bit of a walk along this road first. Another parting of the ways. So the cycle route doesn't take you up onto Gustorfen Hill, but fortunately the walking route does. So be quite pleased to get off this and back out into some serenity. Oh, I think this is the steepest climb since certainly Barrhill, if not coming up over the top in the first section from Helensburgh. Although the mist does seem to have lifted a bit, so that's a bit of a bonus. Edinburgh is such a busy and congested city, but it's full of these oases, and this is just right in the middle of some of the busiest parts. Davidson Mains and Gustorfen, St John's Road. Hiya. Glorious and serene bit of woodland. It's going to be pretty ancient as well, I think. The Scots pine and oak. Gustorfen Tower. I think it does occasionally open, so you can visit it, but most of the time it's shut, unfortunately. I'd love to get a drone shot, but there's not really enough room. Now, I have not got a Scooby what this is. Just the remains of a wall of some sort. There's absolutely nothing to say what it is. see if we can dredge up some information, but yeah, haven't got a clue. Possibly the remains of another tower, going by the footprint here, but who knows. Yeah, the routes are a bit treacherous this time of year, but be heading down off the hill, down past the zoo now. Fence here is just the boundary for the zoo. So I've walked up here in the past and yeah, so all sorts of weird and wonderful noises. If we're lucky, there might be some weird and wonderful animals out that we can see. I think last time we were here we saw some zebra, but it's a pity. I can just make out the castle in the mist, but I think there's no chance on the video. It's a pity because it'd be quite a good panorama of the city here. Yeah. Yeah, it would be a fantastic view. And somewhere in the mist there are the Pentlands. Over the back. You can barely make out Arthur's Seat. I'm not even sure if that is Arthur's Seat. Might not be able to see it. You can just make out the castle behind this tree here where the dog is. I think it is Arthur's Seat. It's a bit of an unusual angle on that. I'm used to seeing it a bit more over to the south. And that's Murrayfield just coming into view as well. Well, that's the end of Kirstorthon Hill for us. I think we've got a bit of pavement pounding now. Got to get across the road here first. I think this is where the cycle route rejoins. One of the old suburban railway lines in Edinburgh. Yeah. They're obviously a bit of a bus and tram enthusiast. I'm going by some of the old tram boards they've got there. They're probably an ex-driver or possibly a current driver.
I see he's got a Dalek in there as well. Look.
Murrayfield Stadium, the home of the Scottish national rugby side. There's a smaller stadium there just to the left that I can't remember their name. I'll just call them Edinburgh for the moment. Edinburgh playing. Fortunately, we're in the middle of the Six Nations Championship at the moment. Fortunately, there's no Six Nations game on today, otherwise this would be chaos right now. But we're picking up the Barrhill walkway now. And this in itself is quite an interesting walk. Starts up at Barrhill. Hiya. And finishes right down at Leith. It's also, well, the top part at Barrhill is part of the Scottish National Trail. But if you're looking for a short walk in Edinburgh, I think it's about 12-13 miles. It's well worth visiting. It's quite the green thread right through the middle of Edinburgh, the Barrhill Leith. Visit some interesting places as well. Dean Village. So interesting, I can't remember the names off the top of my head. Stockbridge. There's a little cafe further up that we're going to stop at in the Barrhill Leith Centre. They've got a wee exhibition centre and cafe there. So I could do with a cup of coffee, but we've still got a couple of miles left to go. We're into Saughton Park and it's there was quite an exhibition held here in the early 20th century. I think it was the Empire exhibition, and unfortunately there's not any remnants of it, but sort of seeing old photos, it was quite spectacular. Maybe about 1906 off the top of my head, something like that. But we're just skirting between housing and developments, and it's just amazing how the trails keeping away from most of the urban sites. From this view you just wouldn't believe how built up this area actually is. There's huge housing estates on either side and just this little green ribbon running right through the middle of it. Well, the bridge here is another place to bail out if you need to. There's a bus stop just maybe a couple of 100 metres up the road in that direction, where you can get a bus into the city. And there's about probably 7 or 8 buses that you can get in. All of them actually go to the city centre, in some form or other. We've got about a mile or so to the Waterleith Centre, and that'll put us on about 7.5 miles for the day. So it's been a bit of a step so far, but it's been good. I enjoyed it. It's all been on tarmac pretty much, apart from the bit over Kirstorfen Hill. But I'm pecking at it a bit today. It's feeling quite weary. The extensive allotments, the area is huge. Must be several hundred in there, which is fantastic. We're arriving at the Waterleith Centre. Railway viaduct and then the Union Canal aqueduct just behind it. And the path goes up onto the Union Canal after we reach the road here. But building on our left is the Waterleith Centre, and I'm hoping and praying that the cafe is ready. Quick pit stop. And then we got these bad boys to go up.
Sorry, yeah.
Right, we go Slateford Aqueduct. I'm a bit out of breath coming up there, but we are heading this way into Edinburgh. And it's right along the canal, so it's going to be flat for the next couple of miles. It's a bit of an odd setup here. The only thing I can think of, it's a training course for kayakers that they pull these out as gates, as obstacles for them. Just one of the many green spaces in Edinburgh. This is really quite a pleasant section along the canal. This is pretty much the end of the Union Canal, and it's a place called Port Hamilton in Edinburgh. It's most of the basins have been filled in, and just where that Vita building is in front of us is where the canal ends, just like the cyclist passed. But through the fence here on the other side you can maybe see the glass building, and there were I think 4 big basins in that area. They're all filled in now, they've got buildings on top of them, right up against Lothian Road. And I think there were a lot of these little lift bridges there as well. But yeah, this is very much the end of the Union Canal. And even if we wanted to go down that way, we can't at the moment. Oh. Take a look back over down the canal. If you're doing it in one go when you finish your book, well, there's the perfect thing for you. And you can't see anything in there that I'd particularly want to read.
The Ken Follett one might be decent.
They're good ideas, those. I think this is bringing us out at Bruntsfield. Yes, it is. Given away by the huge Bruntsfield Evangelical Church sign on the church there. A little glimpse of the castle there. We're up in an area called Bruntsfield Links, which is not quite Morningside, almost Morningside. We're heading down towards a big park called the Meadows. Now, I'd imagine most people will, but I'd very much recommend taking at least a day off in Edinburgh if you're through hiking this. There's so much in the city and so much to see beyond the castle. And for example, something like the Museum of Scotland, you could quite easily spend a full day in. If you're not knackered enough, you can go up Arthur's Seat, which is the best view over the city, better than Corstorphine Hill if it's clear. And although the route doesn't actually go into the city centre, there are so many places where you can just jump on a bus. And you know, depending on where you are, it's going to be between sort of 5 minutes and 20 minutes. And the great thing is, it's a flat fare of £2. So £2 each way, or a day ticket at the moment is just a £5. Yeah, plenty of places to get into the city centre. You know, if you were wanting to stay at somewhere like the youth hostel in Edinburgh, there's plenty of buses that just pretty much stop outside the front door. So you could easily do several days based at the hostel. route doesn't really go into the city, but there's plenty of opportunity for you to get in, and plenty of opportunities to split. There's hotels right on the path and B&Bs right on the route, so there you go. I was about to talk about how I once saw people playing Quidditch, and lo and behold, over there we've got people playing Quidditch. And I have not got the first idea how you go and play that game, but the question is, are they using magical brooms? Yeah, the things you see in Edinburgh. We've got a Quidditch game in full swing. Hey, someone just scored a point. Well, as we're coming out the meadows and nearing the end of the day, the Commonwealth Pool's maybe only 300 or 400 metres away from us. That's where we're going to end the day, and our next section, I guess, will be from the Commonwealth Pool either to Musselburgh or maybe Port Seton. We'll see how we get on with that. But if you're enjoying our journey on the John Muir Way, please leave a comment below. Always interested to hear your thoughts. Give us a like, or even consider subscribing. So with that in mind, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you in the next one. Bye for now.